Coach Stoops said there were good moments for the offense and some things that you'll see on film to improve. What was your assessment for that?
Yeah, definitely. I think, the good part about it is that it's practice. At the end of the day, we still get to go in and watch the film. But, yeah, you definitely felt some electric moments of what we could do offensively, and then some things that, is unacceptable that we can't do. And, the coolest thing walking away is that a lot of guys on the offense understand what they did wrong. And they understand that, they're going to get in the film room as fast as possible to correct it, which is, very good to see from an offensive perspective. But there's always rooms that we could be better at.
Is there something that stood out personally that you can improve at that you see now that things are going live?
Yeah, I think, early on, I think I just got to trust, just doing what I do, playing my game. It's been a little while since we were able to do a live scrimmage. And like I said, there were some really good moments and there was some really bad. And I think, for me, it's just going back, relying on my training, just trusting my training, being consistent with every single rep, making sure my pre-snap sequence is the same every single time. And just making sure that, I grow from this and get better, which we all will for sure.
Any of those young receivers standing out to you that you're kind of working chemistry with, especially as Mariano is out there getting more reps?
Yeah, I think, someone that stands out on film is Anthony Brown for sure. And, even sometimes you forget how young Dane Key is. It's only his second year playing college football, but he carries himself like a vet. Then even guys like Kamari Anderson, Josh Kaddish. It's really cool to see them, wanting to take that next step for this season.
JJ Weaver was just saying that when you first got here, he thought you were a little shy, but now that he thinks you've opened up. Yeah. Would you agree with that? And if so, is it because you're just more comfortable now?
A little bit. I would definitely say I'm kind of a laid-back person for sure. I could come off that way, but, at first I just wanted to put my head down and go to work as soon as I got here. I didn't want to be a super rah-rah guy or feel entitled to anything, and it was my job to earn players that have been here for a while respect like JJ. And, I just think the more that I practice and more that I get around these guys, they can see my true personality, and, we're only going to grow from here.
The offensive line as a whole, JJ seemed to be quite excited about how they were playing.
The offensive line? Yes, sir. You see them getting better and better every day, but I think the biggest thing that stands out to me is, how well they work with Coach Yenzer. They constantly want to meet with him. They constantly pick his brain and ask what they could do better. And then really they just learn off of each other. You got guys like Eli Cox, Horsey, even Marcus Cox. They played a ton of snaps, but you see them relaying what they've learned or, certain reps to younger guys, which is really cool to see.
Devin, kind of going off what he said earlier, when I was at SEC Media Days, when they asked Eli what their first impression of you was, he said quiet confidence and that it's rubbed off on the other players. Coming in as a transfer, having earned these guys' respect pretty fast, how does it feel to hear that and know that it didn't take long to earn their respect, not only for your playmaking ability, but your leadership?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm definitely honored to just be welcomed by these guys in the first place. It's definitely was new for me to transfer, leaving a school that I'm an alumni of and coming in and trying to be the quarterback here. It could be challenging. It could be something that's looked at as a huge challenge, but something that I truly embraced and something that I really wanted to take on. And, my job, like you said, was to earn the respect of the guys, but just being me. And I think that was the biggest thing, was just making sure that every single day they know what to expect out of Devin Leary, because I'm just going to be myself every day. And now being able to have a relationship with every one of the guys in the locker room is pretty special.
Devin, what do you see from that running back room? Because there's a lot of guys with a lot of different skill sets.
Very competitive, and it kind of, each one of them bring their own aspect to the game, which is really cool to see. Obviously Ray having great success in his past, he's coming in with his head down, ready to work. And then, a guy like, Jatan has a ton of snaps under his belt, being able to play in Coach Cohen's offense in 21. Lavelle did really good things today. He keeps getting better, more of a power back. And then even seeing guys like Ramon Jefferson, battling through some injuries, and now, he looks as good as new, which is really cool to see. And then on top of that, you got Demi Sumo coming in, kind of bringing that versatile attack in the passing game a little bit. So I think it's cool to see, how they all collaborate with each other and make each other better. But they definitely each have their own aspects of the game that's going to help us.
What's it like throwing to Demi and handing off to Demi like you did up in Raleigh?
It's pretty cool. It's definitely pretty cool. I remember when he first got to NC State as a freshman, he still brags about it, but he played against my little brother in high school and picked him off. So I feel like I haven't heard the end of that, but it's really cool. You know, I've seen him, you know, take the game in a serious approach. Not only at NC State, being able to play as a redshirt freshman, but transferring in and, you know, doing everything that he can to help this offense. You know, very similar to how I came in, putting his head down, going to work. But, you know, being out there on the field, it just makes me realize, you know, how much I appreciate how much work he's put into this game as well.
Just how much more comfortable does Jagger look at center now compared to he did in the spring?
Very comfortable, very comfortable. I mean, he's done a tremendous job. You know, at first you could tell that it was something that was really new to him, obviously making that switch. But, you know, now it seems like he's played center the whole time. And, you know, he loves it. He loves the position. You see him taking more control compared to the spring, you know, making sure he's right with his spots. Where now he's making his spots immediately. So, you know, just kind of standing behind him, learning behind him, even seeing him develop at the position has been really cool to see.
Devin, any defensive guys giving you particular issues out there?
Man, those guys are good. Those guys are really good. I would say, obviously, J.J. Weaver, Deion Walker. I think Max is having a really good camp. Drew Phillips is doing a great job. Zion, you know, Jay Love does a great job. And then, obviously, Trevin, D-Jack. I mean, it's really cool to turn on the film from last year and just see how many new guys are even stepping up and making plays now in the spring. It feels like they've got a ton of reps as well. So, every single day, especially going against Coach White too, it's definitely a challenge.
What's your relationship with Coach Cohen like right now? I mean, is there give and take back and forth, or are you still in kind of a listening and learning mode as far as that, what he has to say?
Yeah, definitely. I would say a little bit of both. I think, you know, as a player to a coach, I've always, you know, been taught and raised to sit back and learn and make sure that, you know, if I'm being coached, I want to be coached as hard as anyone on the entire team. But at the same time, you know, me being an older guy, now going into my 6th year, I've had a lot of snaps under my belt that, you know, he's able to listen to me at times too, which is a really cool perspective from a quarterback. And I think, you know, he's seen it at the highest level, being around Matt Stafford, Jared Goff. So, you know, I always want to learn as much as I can from him, but pick his brain on what I could do better too. So I think it's been a cool relationship.